Private Detective Zhang Yufen is on a case. She's trying to catch a cheating husband, part of her battle against China's modern-day system of concubines. In her line of work, Zhang often has to deal with corruption, macho behavior, and financial dependency. Some in the Chinese media have called her the concubine killer.
This young couple is well off. The husband travels a lot on business and the wife stays home. He's not particularly faithful. He fools around.
Zhang lives in the central Chinese city of Xi'an. Her client suggested that she look for the suspects in this new development area.
This area used to be just flat land. So this is where he hangs out, while his wife sits at home and takes care of the kids. She's being a good wife, and he's out whoring around. These wives work hard.
Zhang has brought along 2 other private detectives, a husband and wife team. Here, they use a GPS device to keep an eye on a tracker that the wife put in her husband's car.
Where is he, at work or at home?
No idea, but he's moving around.
In the old days, all we could do was follow people around ourselves. Now, when you drive in, go slow, so we can read the license plate.
Now they wait. The development area is a mix of luxury apartments and offices. The detectives have no idea what the suspect is doing here. Is he here on business? Has he rented an apartment? Something could happen at any minute. Or they could end up waiting here for hours. Officially, there are no private detectives in China. Zhang and her colleagues are working in a gray area. They don't have a license, and they don't follow any rules. Suddenly, the suspect appears. The chase is on. They're not going to let his car out of their sight. The evidence is starting to look convincing. Now the detectives have to document what the suspect couple has been doing together. The search ends in the same development. Apparently, the couple have rented an apartment here.
I'm going home. I'm exhausted.
Go ahead.
Zhang Yufen has been tracking cheating husbands for 2 decades. It all began when her own marriage was on the rocks.
He asked me for a divorce out of the blue. He walked out and slammed the door behind him. I didn't leave the house for a week. I just sat on the couch. And then I decided to find out what was going on so I could defend myself. If I couldn't find proof, he'd get away with it and I'd be left with nothing. But I was entitled to something.
Wives who can prove a husband's guilt are entitled to a share of his property. Zhang soon started taking on clients, and she tracked down some powerful officials who had taken a mistress.
This is a Communist Party leader from Shenzhen. We caught him. He's in jail now on a corruption conviction.
Zhang was harassed by powerful people, and she went into hiding for a while.
We caught these two in the act. The wife gave the other woman a good smacking. We had to pull them apart. I have no regrets about what I do. If the mistresses get slapped around, they're more likely to behave themselves in the future.
The two detectives phone with some news. They've figured out where the suspect couple is holed up. And they've also confirmed the woman's name and address. Zhang has lived in this apartment in Xi'an for years. But she spends most of her time in Beijing, where she's less well known and has made fewer enemies. Zhang's investigations of infidelity have sometimes helped to uncover major cases of corruption. Sometimes the suspects treat their mistresses like traditional Chinese concubines, a second wife. They provide them with a place to live and pay their expenses, sometimes with money earned through corruption. Zhang is not intimidated by powerful people. Her work has gotten her arrested, and once she had to change her name. The detectives meet to plan the big confrontation. They've rented a room in a hotel near the suspect couple's love nest.
They'll turn up sooner or later.
This is the hardest part of the investigation, gathering hard evidence of actual cheating.
The wife will bring along a male relative for protection. She has to catch the suspect couple in the act. If she can't, her case probably won't hold up in court. Her evidence will be the key to the case.
The detectives try to find out as much as they can about the couple. One of Zhang's friends, called Li, knows the woman's family. She gives Zhang some background details. And she's happy to help, because she's a former client. More than 10 years ago, Zhang helped to prove that Li's husband was having an affair. That led to a divorce. Li says she still hasn't gotten over it.
It hurt so badly that I nearly died. It made me ill, but I stayed alive for my children.
In Chinese society, wives who are betrayed are often ridiculed, but not the husbands. It's a status symbol for many men to have a second wife.
The woman comes from a poor family. Her mother's a housewife and her father works as a driver. He's the sole support for the family, and he doesn't earn much.
This information helps Zhang to plan her next move. The details do not surprise her.
Sometimes the women do it for love, but more often than not, they do it for money.
The detectives pick up the wife who's allegedly been betrayed. She does not want to be identified.
You have a child. Your husband will have to pay child support.
Do we really have to catch them in the act?
Absolutely. Otherwise, you'll get nothing.
The court won't believe you.
But I don't want to go to court. I want to talk him into leaving her.
She'll never leave him. Her family will hit the roof if she does because they're poor. They want a share of your husband's money. These cases can be brutal. You've simply got to be strong and deal with it. He cheated on you. He's a bad person.
But the client refuses to listen. There's nothing more that Zhang can do now. It's a setback in her struggle against China's modern-day concubine system.
That woman is stupid. She felt sorry for that guy. Maybe she really loves him. But I think this is really going to cost her. She's too dependent on him. Women have to be independent, financially and in the way they think.
This case is now closed, but Zhang will be back to work soon. She's got a long list of clients.